Hi, everyone. Scribbler Johnny checking in before we continue with the second book of Acid Burn, which is called The Horrible Beauty. The manuscript pages had been given to my mother at one time so she could read my first novel and see what I had been doing with my time and how I was trying to create beauty from my pain. She left the manuscript on the floor, knowing fully well that her cat was going through a stint of peeing absolutely everywhere. And the inevitable happened, and now my irreplaceable handwritten manuscript is tainted and damaged by cat urine. So I'm going to try to edit things so that it's not obvious when I'm having difficulty deciphering the damaged ink. But if you notice I'm particularly hesitant or slow while reading this one, that would be why. I will upload a photo of the manuscript as part of the video portion of this if you care to look at it. And if you don't care to look at it, I don't blame you. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. The Horrible Beauty, Acid Burn Book 2 by Scribbler Johnny. They locked the family home and told the chief constable what had happened. Their rolling home was nowhere near completion, so they told the Rag and White to inform them by post at the Great Hall for the Knights of the Topaz Dragon. According to their interpretation of the clues on the Solus Blue scroll, the legendary blade would be found near the Klataka Desert. The abbey there purported to hold the remains of priest Kieran as well. So not only would they touch base with family and allies, reforge Leni's sword, and inform the Topaz Knights of the misfortune that had befallen their family, they would at least gather more clues, if not even be able to claim the sword itself. Kumak's sword was left with the Knights of the Quill, and Sasha took to wielding the Sword of Soames. They chartered passage on magic carpet transport. It was so cold high in the air that even underneath blankets and with their mammal spouses, the Mataka fell into the sleep of torpor. The others spent much of their journey asleep too. It wasn't until they reached the heat of Tasnica, which had been absorbed in the Polmarch Empire a few generations before, that they felt like they were living people again. Hungry, thirsty, red-eyed living people. They ate quietly, not drawing attention to themselves, though, as always, Seven wore his tabard. A dragon knight can never hide who they are. A few respectful nods was all the attention they received, which suited them fine. As they walked to the great hall, Etta said sadly, "We made our love nest, but we never consecrated it. It's better this way. We'll consecrate it when we return, as a whole family." Kumek asked, "What will we name them?" "Depends," Sasha replied. "Boys? Grimhorda the Eighth, of course. Nappa or Festus. Girls? Hephzibah, Catrala, or Moondancer." "Moondancer? Think about it, sweetness. You are a moonwalker. I'm a moon dancer." And then Kumak asked, "Hephzibah?" "Your father told me that Kumak means she is joyous. Hephzibah means my joy is in her." And then Chips asked, "Festus?" celebration. Seven nodded and then said, "Okay, I'll bite." Napa? Napa is a delicious kind of cabbage. Chips are delicious fried potatoes. And then Etta asked, "Okay, well, what about Katrala?" "Oh, that's my mother's name," Sasha replied. Chips kissed Sasha on the cheek. "Good names." "Thank you, husband." At the Great Hall, they were greeted by a harried-looking Castellan. "Hail and welcome, Lieutenant. Your name?" "Grimhorda the Seventh." The Castellan noticed his copper cross with the scroll adorned with the V for valor, and he gestured. "I know the way to my quarters, Castellan." "Ah, sir, your effects have been relocated to new quarters befitting your commission. This way, please." They followed the Castellan, impressed that Grimhorda warranted personal attention. He unlocked the door and handed Seven the key with a bow. His quarters were of decent size for a single room, but Spartanly furnished. "All due respect, husband, we can't all live here." They managed to squeeze into the room. Etta closed the door behind her. "I think we will have to seek out a house to rent somewhere." Seven began changing into his other uniform, the one that had the desert rose with distinction already pinned to it. He then pinned his cropper cross onto it, and his knight lieutenant sash he draped over his shoulders. "The commander will help us get settled. This is just a place to stow our gear, change into nicer clothes, and prepare ourselves to meet the commander." "How should we prepare to meet the commander? What kind of man is he?" "She is my mother." They prepared as best they could without bathing, and tried to calm their emotions, bracing to tell their mother-in-law that Sasha's eggs had been stolen by four insane Vienna vagabonds. Sasha asked, "And what is my mother-in-law's name, Commander?" "I mean, her name is Mika." And then a tap at the door. "Enter." A page opened the door. "Sir, the commander is ready to see you and your spouses." Seven addressed him. "You'd best get comfortable with the fact of my family, lad." "Yes, sir. This way, please." Seven carried his helm and his spear. The others followed suit and went armed. Kumak wearing her knightly dress uniform, and carrying her helm as well. Chips carrying the harpoon of Grimhorda IV. After all, the Great Hall was a fortress. The commander's office was spacious, but still Spartan in furnishing, with only benches to sit upon. When they entered, the commander was facing a map with her back to them. "Commander, Lieutenant Grimhorda VII, come to report." He stood at attention, and the page left, closing the door quietly. The aged Mataka woman turned and regarded them coolly. "Fall out and be at ease, Lieutenant." Seven relaxed and placed his spear on some hooks on a nearby wall. "Mother, this is my co-husband, Chips. My wives, Etta, Kumak, and Satrasha, Count and Countesses of Montblanc. I am also the Count Montblanc." "My son has a noble title. Mother River, I did not see that coming. Report your deeds for the record." "I, Grimhorda VII, since my departure, have accomplished the following notable deeds. I won the heart of Lady Etta Moonwalker, won the trust of Chips Ravenholm, and named him brother. I slew Galen Washoe, Knight Lieutenant of the Green. I slew one giant antlion, one giant snapping turtle, bested twin Vienna snipers, one Vierna mend mage, one Vierna bend mage, won the Spear of Soames, slew a Draco Lich, won the left gauntlet of Soames and the armor of Soames, won the heart of Satrasha, and Kumak of Montblanc, founded the Glorious Eggs Company, became a lieutenant in the knighthood, and was promoted with the Copper Cross with Valor distinction, and also slew sundry brigands. Kumak of Montblanc, yes, ma'am. Are you a Cassandran Knight of the Quill? Aye. Kumak, have you ever killed a person? No, ma'am. My son will rely on you to protect his flank. Steel yourself to kill when necessary, because it will be necessary, my historian. Yes, ma'am. Satrasha, have you laid eggs yet? Sasha closed her eyes. Chips held her hand, and Seven her other, and she answered, I laid a clutch of 3. They were taken from us the night of our wedding. We know who has them, and we will reclaim our spawn. Mika stared hard at the wall behind them. They were stolen? Such is simply not done. I won't stand for this. You have my full support. How many spears do you need? We're going to give them time to hatch. Their captors swore to care for them as part of their twisted vengeance. It will be much easier to safeguard the return of hatchlings than eggs. In this time, we will be questing for magical weapons, and we will welcome the aid of the knighthood when we do strike. Your judgment is sound. After I separate my thoughts from my emotions, I look forward to killing these fiends. Sasha replied in Mataka La. My thanks, adopted mother. My eggs will be avenged. Mika nodded at her. Anything you need, anything at all, I will give to you. I own a house that I never use. It's yours. She gave Sasha the key and told them where the house was located. And that ended their interview. Seven was almost cheerful being back in his hometown. The house needed sweeping pretty badly, and Etta and Kumak were sneezing frequently as they took care of this. After a few hours of cleaning, with everyone helping, the house was finally deemed fit for habitation. They ate a late lunch in a restaurant, feeling very weary. And Chips raised his mug. A toast. Etta groaned theatrically. Cheers to the very, very best wives in all the world. I'm going to try to deserve you, but I doubt I'll be able to match. Etta gave him a kiss after drinking. Seven then raised his mug, paused, and simply drained it. Kumak gave his hand a kiss. You have a Mugu sense of humor, husband. And a human man who was wearing a blue turban and matching blue robes which marked him as a beast mage approached them. I apologize for interrupting, but you look like adventurers. Etta replied, We are, but we're here to do a lot of research at the moment, not much adventuring. I see. That means you know what you're looking for. When you set out, do you think you could use an experienced beast mage? Etta looked blank. Okay, you mind telling us what does a blue mage do? I'm not surprised you don't know, but I salute you for being humble enough to ask. Beast mages mimic the magic used by magical beasts. We have to witness it firsthand, so as you can see, an experienced blue mage is, well, I would say valuable. Chips responded, "Oh, I doubt we'll need you, friend, but good luck to you." The beast mage bowed, and Chips told his family, "As far as everyone's aware, only humans can become beast mages. It's one of those odd quirks, like the Vienna Elementalists or the Mugu Gadgeteers." The food was excellent, so they arranged to have a dinner delivered to them at their house that night from the same restaurant. And when they returned to the house, they were very disappointed by the small bed as they gave it another glance. "Well, it will be perfect for sleeping alone," Seven said. "Yes," said Kumak, climbing onto it, "but who wants that? We've been spoiled with all our cuddling. This bed is so small I can't even share it with Chips." Seven replied, "I guess we'll need to get some cushions and rugs." And so the family moved to purchase that bedding and also hired porters to assist with delivery. Etta was feeling very miserable in the heat of the day, and she also chose to purchase some new clothes, which were rather revealing in the local style. Kumak also found her summer Cassandran wardrobe to be too hot there in Tasnica, and bought similarly weather appropriate clothing, which also happened to be rather scanty. Sasha was unfazed. Being cold blooded had its advantages. Seven and Chips moved the bed out of the bedroom, while Sasha directed the porters where to unroll the rugs and where to place the cushions. Etta paid the porters and sent them on their way. Etta was naked before she got to the bedroom. "Ah, I needed to air these out," she said. Stips, Chips stared at her, glistening with sweat, and gulped. "Oh no, big boy. I'm in need of cooling off before I'll even let you touch me." He smiled. "Best of both." And he took a bandana and poured water from a ewer onto it, gently wringing it out over her bosom. She shivered. He began to rub the damp cloth over her, soothing his wife. And then Sasha let out a coo. "Me too." She took another cloth and dampened it, and began to bathe Etta as well. Kumek disrobed out of her uniform and fanned herself. "I'm hot too, and I've got fur." Seven happily bathed his Mugu wife. It wasn't long before Etta had taken off her spectacles and cleaned them and left them on a table. She stretched and took the cloth gently from Sasha's hand and held her co-wife's hand to her face, letting out small purring noises. Chip set his cloth aside and shucked his robe and trousers. Kumak kissed Seven's hand and took the cloth away from him as well. Seven professionally removed his uniform and set it inside the armoire. Etta embraced Sasha and kissed her on the ear, which set her bells to ringing. "Your bells are so charming, love," she said softly. Seven sprawled in his loincloth and sighed. "It feels good to relax. It feels like I've been on duty for a week." "It's been what, 2 days since we left home?" Chips replied. "Today is the second day." "Truly, time is a funny thing." And Kumek looked at Sasha and Etta, silently embracing. Her husband sprawled upon the floor, Chips naked, and she snuggled next to him, pressing her breasts against his chest, making sure that her nipples traced a path along his ribs, and cooed when she saw him respond. "Don't worry, husband. Kumek will take care of you," she said in what she hoped was a cute voice. Sasha released Etta, and Etta said, "Does that mean something for me, Kumak?" Kumak looked pained. No, E, I was just trying to be cute. You and Sasha were having a private moment, and I wanted to make love. It's because I didn't just let him have his way with me when he wanted, and you wanted to make me feel bad for not taking care of him. You're trying to take him away. No, Etta, we're married. You can do whatever you like. Chips wanted to make love. I wanted it too. You didn't seem to want it. Why are we fighting? Why do you always fight me? And then Kumek began to weep, and she sobbed, I love you all, but Etta only loves me when I'm actively making love to her. The rest of the time, you get angry and you question me, and I just wish you loved me as much as I love you. I'm hurting so much, and I try not to bother you, but so much bothers you. Why don't you love me? Why aren't I good enough? Etta turned to face her. I've been awful, haven't I? I wasn't thinking of anyone else's feelings. I've been very selfish. Oh, Chips, I'm sorry I talked about you like that, making you sound bad when it was just me feeling jealous of Kumak. Chips pulled his legs up and he hugged his knees. His eyes were downcast. Kumak touched his shoulder and he pulled away from her. Elda knelt down in front of where Kumax and Chips had been laying. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Kay. You're wonderful. You've done so much for us, and you haven't asked for anything. I love you, Mrs. Etta. And she began to weep as well, and continued, I want to blame it on distress over our eggs, but it goes further back than that. And it's just me. I'm I'm not a good person. I'm vengeful and I'm cruel and I'm jealous and I'm sorry that I'm not a good wife. Chips trembled with silent tears, and Etta touched his knee. Please, Chips, we need to pull together, not apart. I understand it now. He looked at his wives in turn, and his silent co-husband, the tears running down his face. Etta, you cut me deep just then. I love you. I have never, not once, used you or taken advantage of you, or even thought of you as someone to be used. Even when I am burning for you, and I do burn. You're my partner, my wife, my equal. I was happy to bathe you, helping you to feel comfort, and I enjoy touching you. But I didn't even ask to make love to you. It has always been when you wanted me. The same is true for my other wives. I never take what is not given to me. And if the day should come when none of my wives wants to make love to me, then I will go without. I won't demand it. Never. Please remember that. Kumak touched his shoulder again, and he did not pull away. Etta crawled forward to be at his other side. Chips, I'm sorry. I said it before. It's not your fault. I'm just always trying to protect myself, I guess. even when I don't need to. He relaxed, and he put his arms around his two wives. We're all hurting, and we're used to suffering alone, he said. I wish we could never hurt the ones we love, but it happens. We don't need to suffer alone anymore. That's part of why we have each other, to help each other. The Mataka looked on, still not speaking, until Sasha broke the silence. G and I have smelled trouble coming for a while. Intuition. We thought it best to let you speak these feelings. Your peoples have a great need to make words out of your feelings before things can be fixed. And we are better now, I hope. Chips nodded. I only want to be held tonight, Sasha said, and then she lay beside Seven. No one ended up making love that night. Etta blamed herself. She cuddled Kumak that night, and Chips didn't cuddle with anyone, feeling dejected and miserable still deep inside. He woke in the middle of the night, wearing only his loincloth, and he walked into the small backyard. He felt the wind blow, and in his mage sight he saw wind ions, zephyrs. They appeared as lavender-skinned women with pointed ears, clothed only in ribbons, which they wound and unwound around each other playfully as they flew and they danced. One of them noticed him watching. Do you want me, Magus? Eager for a Zephyr servant, are you? Yes, I want a Zephyr very much. Honesty is the best policy, especially with beings who can hear the lie in your breath. The others gathered near the yard, only a few steps away. Another of them spoke. I know Magi. He doesn't only want our magic. He wants a Zephyr love slave. They always do. Because they know that we're the best. He knew he had to choose his next words carefully. Zephyrs are legendary for their power and their passion. I tell you now, I never take what is not given to me. I do desire to bond with a Zephyr, and with many Ions. I would be delighted if a Zephyr loved me, but I have not used force on any of my Ions, and I never will. He speaks true! You would give your mana to a Zephyr and only ask for service? Never demand? I so swear it. Attest, 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 they whispered. If you catch one of us, she will serve, but only if you catch her and give her a kiss of pure love. Ooh, pure love, pure love! He was crestfallen. I cannot. I cannot offer pure love to a servant. That would mean that I would need to allow her to be fully free, and I need to bind her to me. I can only keep the promise that I already made. I can promise love, but not pure love. You are wise, Magus. A fool promises everything, heedless of the words and their meaning. And then another spoke. I have a test. He closes his eyes, and he finds one of us while blinded. The one who wants him most. And he kisses her. If she's the right one, he binds her. If she's not, then we takes him to the desert and we leaves him there. Giggles and flashes of sharp teeth. I like that test. There must be risk for a prize, or he doesn't cherish it, said another Zephyr. He gulped. I accept. Ooh, he is brave. I smell his fears. He thinks we might cheat him or eat him, but he's going to try us. I like brave men. This Zephyr flashed a breast at him, and he saw that her nipple was a dark purple against her lavender skin. They giggled, and the wind lifted him into the air and carried him over the fence into the vacant land beyond. Far from home with no shoes, Magus. Close your eyes. He did, and he felt the wind drop him, but it was only about a foot. He kept his eyes closed, though his heart was racing. Which one of us wants him at all? Did we neglect to establish that? He ignored the teasing words and opened his inner eye. He listened to his heart and took slow steps with his hands outstretched, feeling for the fluttering in his chest. Wind buffeted him, tripped him, and blew sand across his buttocks, which stung. And then he felt it. He moved towards that feeling, that fluttering in his chest. Soft flesh brushed his hand, and he ignored that, continuing to move forward. A nipple, thick and hard, pressed against his back, but he did not stop. He was moving toward love. He got turned about, but reoriented himself, moving toward the fluttering in his chest. I won't be kept from you. I feel you in my heart, Zephyr. I'm coming to you. At this, the Zephyrs sighed, and suddenly there wasn't only one flutter. Damn! He had to work harder now. They wanted to be wanted. He understood that now. And he felt her move towards his left. Was he so close? He moved with her. Open your eyes, Magus! He nearly did. Damned tricky Zephyrs. He pursued her, and then ran. He fell. He kept falling. He spread his arms wide to catch her, but she caught him. She carried him upward, cradling him to her fragrant bosom. She smelled like saffron. He dared not open his eyes. She set him down, and he reached for her face, feeling her skin and her impossibly long, fine hair. He kissed her on her right eyelid. Then he found her lips. And she returned his kiss, which made his heart pound. He opened his eyes, and she was beautiful in the fashion possible only to the immortal. Pretty as a picture. Her eyes glittered like sapphires. You win, Magus. I like you very much. The others gathered around. We didn't make it easy for you. You cherish her, Magus. I wish you picked me, Magus. I would have been good to you. He kissed her again, and she pulled him against her, to the sighs and longing from the others. What is your name? He asked her. Call me Breezy. I'll serve you until you die if you promise to give me your mana and kiss me with that much love again. He gathered the mana within himself and kissed her again, squeezing one buttock and sliding his tongue into her mouth. She sucked on his breath, drawing the mana out of him. Ooh, I really like you, she said. I like you, Breezy. I know. You want me too. You want me right here in the sand. But you also want me to carry you home. Home to your wives. She looked sad. It's true, Breezy. I'm a married man, and you cannot be the only one I love. I promise to always cherish you. What do I care for your mortal wives? Zephyr's heart is fierce and free. I'll be here long after all of you are dead. Don't speak to me so, Breezy. You wound me. Magus? Oh, don't be hurt. I'm so changing. I'm not mad anymore. See? I still love you. And she kissed him again and again. I'll be good to you. I promise. He smiled. Please take me home, and I will make love to you another time. Will you treat me like one of your wives? I will. Let's go home then, Magus. She cradled him once more and flew him home, setting him down gently in his backyard. Can I have just a little more mana? Not until I call you again. Thank you, Breezy. She looked forlorn and then vanished. He looked down at his erection. You'll get me into trouble if I don't keep watch, you traitor. He went inside and carefully cuddled with Etta. His traitorous penis poked her backside, refusing to go back to sleep. She stirred. Chips, love? Do you want me? I always do, sweetness. Always. She rolled over and felt his manhood press against her belly. She groped for it and squeezed, testing the firmness. Still half asleep, she whispered, I love you. He kissed her, and I you. Feels like you really want me. I do, love. I do. You might not believe how much, he thought. I almost died for the sake of a flighty ion who can detect lies and apparently has a sex drive. The books didn't mention that. He kissed her again and cupped one of her large breasts. She pushed him onto his back and rolled atop him. Fully awake now, she said, I'm not quite ready yet. Can you help me? He smiled. Try to stop me. And they made love, burying their hurt and relishing the closeness of each other, shutting out their inner voices and the outside world. Breezy watched from the doorway, invisible, and she thought, that's why he wanted to come home. Look how big she is, how round, how long her ears are. Oh, and she's brown, too, not purple like me. And the other wives, that one there is so small, and she's white, and she has wings. And the other wife, she's got scales and big muscles, and she's green. Oh, I'm not very special, unless I change. Okay, so I'll be like all of his wives, and myself too, and then he'll like me best. So, purple scales, white hair, big, round, heavy breasts, big, long ears, a tail, and big teeth. He won't be able to resist me. She returned to her home plane, planning her transformation. Chips held at his breasts as he thrust upward, reveling in the warm moistness of her, loving the sounds that she made as she rode him. He finished before her, but she was able to get the last pleasure to send her over the edge before he went flaccid. So good, he whispered as she collapsed atop him, panting. Thank you. Am I the best? You're the only Etta in the world, and you're mine. You didn't answer my question. It's an unfair question. You're different. I love you, and I love what makes you different. You make me feel good, and I revel in you. I adore you. You're wonderful. Good enough for me. And then Kumak kissed Chips. Do you have any left for me, Kupo? Etta groaned and rolled over, giving him and Kumak one extra kiss. And Chips said, I'm willing to try for you. She let out a squeal and began licking him clean, enjoying how he tasted with the juices on his skin. You know, your juice tastes good on him, E. Thank you. Etta blushed. Thank you, Kay. And Etta relaxed and tried to go back to sleep, knowing that it was close enough to dawn. The sounds Kumak made excited her too much to sleep, though. It took longer than she thought for Kumak to get Chip's heart again, which gave Etta some petty satisfaction. I satisfy him better than you, she thought smugly, and then she felt kind of bad for thinking that. Kumak mounted him, gasping a high squeak, and as she bounced, with her tongue lolling out and her bat-like eyes glazing over, she smiled lazily, with her mouth open, showing her pointed teeth. It felt so good. She licked the sweat off of his nipples and loved seeing his face as she filled him with ecstasy. She was doing it to him. He loved her. Her husband was overcome with pleasure, just like her. His manhood and her womanhood were a perfect fit. She could tell. Oh, I love him when I'm big and when I'm small. It's always good. I'm gonna love him silly. And then Chips called out, Ah, Kumak! And then he was filling her up, filling her with his love. She couldn't take any more and moaned and thanked him. He thanked her in reply, and then she giggled. What for? For loving me? Oh, you. She gave him a kiss and dismounted slowly. Chips lay on his back with a wife in each arm, and for a time he had no troubling thoughts. But then he thought of the eggs. Damn. The next day they visited the abbey where priest Kieran was meant to have been interred. Kumak wore her light top and pants with a quill knight medallion around her neck. And she also put her fascinator in her hair. Etta was wearing her own summer weight outfit, comfortable and happy, though she did also wear the brassiere, unlike Kumak. Sasha wore one of her dancer costumes, and the husbands wore their usual robes, with Seven's tabard atop his, and Chips still wearing his summoner hat. All of them went armed, always, always armed nowadays. It took some time to get to the records so that they could find out more about Priest Kieran and clues about where to find Solus Blue. They learned that Kieran was an Ishtari priest and that he had likely hidden the sword in the catacombs beneath the abbey. They determined this by comparing references that they found in the scroll and in Kieran's biography and in a few abbey records. Now, how to convince the abbot to let them into the catacombs? We should just be direct. It hasn't failed us yet, Chip suggested. Oh, Etta teased. Hi, Kieran, we're here to take your stuff. Look what that got us. He patted Kumak's butt as she was leaning over the table to look at a scroll. She chided him. Behave, this is holy ground. Yes, wife. The archivist approached them just then. She's your wife? And her, and her. Yes? That's unnatural, sir. All right, then. Don't marry a Mugu, a Vierna, or a Mataka if you don't want to. Anyway, the abbot is ready to see you. Are you finished here? Yes, thank you. They handed the scrolls over to the archivist, careful to keep their own separate. He strode away, muttering to himself. What a nice priest, Kumak observed. They were led to the abbot's office by a novice. They gathered around the abbot's desk, and Seven held Kumak so that she could see over it. I apologize for not having any chairs, little one, the abbot said. It's fine. Have you been studying about Kieran? I understand you're a quill knight, a historian. Correct. We'd like to study the catacombs. Okay, then. Really? Sure. Just be careful down there. Ishtar knows what you'll find. Well, thank you. He gave them the key and a lamp. As they opened the door to the catacombs, Seven said, I hoped it would be that easy. Let's hope that luck stays with us, affirmed Sasha. Fate is cruel, Seven replied. Thank you, Mr. Sunshine. You're welcome, wife. The catacombs were dark and thoroughly unpleasant. Nobody cleans up here. Do they not use them anymore? Chips complained. Maybe not, answered Seven. I have a plan. Breezy, come to me and blow away the dust and cobwebs. A strange creature appeared. Lavender colored, scaly, bat like wings, Mataka like tail, round belly, massive breasts, and big pointy teeth, wrapped up in white ribbons and white haired. Etta gaped. That's Breezy? Am I beautiful to you, Magus? Breezy asked. Breezy, you changed to try to please me? Oh, I understand. Sasha remarked, I don't know if I should be flattered or horrified. Magus? Breezy, you were beautiful the way you were before. Now, though, now I'm perfect. I look like all of your wives and also myself now. I'm your perfect girl now. She laughed in joy and blew the dust and cobwebs into a pile in a corner, which made the way ahead very clean. She blew Chips a kiss then and vanished. Etta asked, Chips, do you have something to tell us? I didn't tell her to do that. She did that on her own. You liked it, though, didn't you? Yes, imagine her in a fight. Sasha laughed. Breezy the horrible beauty. Fear Breezy's wrath. Seven shuddered. She thinks you're in love with her because she looks like that. What if she wants a kiss? Chip shrugged. What's the harm in a kiss? Listen, you don't want to know how far I'm willing to go to keep a Zephyr. They're very powerful. Etta stopped him. Do you wish that we were merged into a gestalt like that? Gods, no. I like things the way we have them fine, thanks. So you still love me, right? Of course. I told you I didn't make her do that. Sasha asked, Do you wish that I had breasts? For the last time, I would not change a thing. Sasha's the best Sasha, Kumak's the best Kumak, and Etta's the best Etta. And seven's the best seven. Okay? Seven patted him. Thank you for not leaving me out, Chips. Chips smiled. Onward, onward. The catacomb was easier to navigate now, and they found Kieran's remains before long. Hello, Kieran. We need Solus Blue to rescue our eggs from an enemy who stole them to hurt us. And then there was a shimmering light, and a man appeared. Did you say eggs? Yes, Chips replied. Their eggs specifically, but we're a family, so their eggs are ours. I was told to give the sword only to the cause of love. Take Solus Blue. Rescue your family. He pointed to the wall, and a blue-bladed scimitar hung there. Sasha took up the sword and turned. Thank you, Kieran. But only his bones remained there in moldering robes. She tucked the sword into her sash, and they each bowed their heads to the remains of Priest Kieran before leaving and returning the key to a priest before returning to their new favorite restaurant. Today, the food was spicier than they were used to, except for the mataka, and the beast mage was there again. Ah, nice local clothes, ladies, he said as a greeting. Thank you, Magus. Ah, I never did introduce myself. My name is Santosh. Chips, Grimhorda, Satrasha, and Edda. I'm Kumak. It is a pleasure. And then he looked expectant. Would you like to join us? Thank you. He sat and looked pained. May I help myself? Please. It's a bit too spicy. He thanked him and prayed a quick blessing over the food before he ate. They noticed that Santosh only ate the vegetables. And Chips asked, Having difficulties with steady work, Santosh? Indeed, my partners befell great misfortune, and I barely survived myself. No one believes you aren't a novice, and no one wants a novice. It's a hard life for a beast mage, but what can be done? We can't choose where the magic leads us, right, Chips? Right. So, any good leads? We got what we came here for without drawing steel. I have a map to a dungeon. It's where my partners died, actually. I could sell it to you. I have a better idea, began Seven. Etta shook her head. We'll go there with you so that your partners can be properly seen to, and then you can keep a share of any treasure we find. Thank you. Etta kicked Chips. Ow! Sorry, she kicked Seven. Santosh looked at them. Look, I don't want to make trouble with your partners. Seven looked at Etta. It will be fine. We can set aside time to do a good turn. So Santosh unrolled the map after their plates were cleared away. So as you can see, it's easy going until these hills. Then it's rocky, and we'll find the dungeon entrance here. I made a hasty map of the dungeon itself. As you can see, its layout is rather like a centipede. They discussed the needed preparations and ordered some coffee to calm the owner. One thing absolutely clear. The Glorious Eggs Company is respectable and vengeful. If you have misled us in any way, or if you deceive us or betray us, I burn your balls with acid. Edda! If he doesn't do anything wrong, he has nothing to fear. Santosh? He extended his right hand. She took it. I pledge my sword and my spells to the Glorious Eggs Company, and will not betray them on pain of acid burning my balls. We accept you. Now you must know my partners are married to me, so we are off limits to you if you get lonely. Even Satrasha? Especially Satrasha. All right. Anything else I should know? No. Anything else we should know? Well, we need to get my sword out of Hawk. Back at home, Etta was livid. He pawned his sword. He's a loser. We're going to suffer for your kindness. Etta, we've been fortunate. Fate is cruel. We must help others. Okay, G. If I die again, I'll kill you. Please don't. She hugged him. I didn't mean it. Sasha spoke. I didn't like the way he looked at me. It's hard for men to resist you, Chip said, giving her ear a kiss. I don't like that I'm the bad guy, Etta fumed. You chose to kick me. No one made you do that, Chips chided her. She crossed over and gave his forehead a kiss. I said I was sorry. And then Kumak complained, we're going to have to go without because we won't have a wagon and we'll have company. Etta looked up. And I have to be deprived of my husbands and wives so that you can feel good about yourself. I'll make it up to you, starting now. And Seven playfully pounced on her. The next morning, they bought the needed supplies, and Etta grumbled as she paid. We'll keep a tally and get reimbursed by the order, Seven assuaged her. The order has money? Not a ton, but yeah. Fine. And Santosh smiled. You won't regret it, Etta. Many treasures. And so they rented some vochos and saddled the great birds. Chips helped Kumek into her saddle with a kiss. Your armor is heavy, he complained. It keeps me alive, husband. And then they were off. The birds ran swiftly and nimbly. The pace the vochos ran at made Etta very bouncy, and the men couldn't help staring. Eyes forward, big boy, she commanded. They had to rest little, and they covered the distance in great time. They reached those hills in 2 days' travel. They found a pond and watered the vochos. Sasha offered to spar with Santosh. He cheerfully agreed. Sasha twirled her two swords. I warn you, both of my swords are legendary. Oh, good thing we're only sparring then. Santos wasn't bad, considering. Sasha disarmed him after 3 minutes. Okay, your sword skill passes muster. Let's hope you have the spells to go with it, Sasha remarked. They rode the vochos to a closer foothill to the dungeon, and then stopped there for the night. Santosh was eager to learn about them, but he was embarrassed to discuss himself. Most of my life is me barely surviving things that would have killed others. I'm just reliant on luck. Etta pulled a flask of acid from her satchel. See here, this acid? I have written Santosh on the cork. She showed them all, and she smiled at him. It's only for you, my friend. No one else. He smiled weakly. No, thank you, Etta. You keep that. Oh, I shall, until it's time to give it away. Chips frowned. Etta, that's not funny. Chips, I'm not laughing, Etta replied. They turned in, with Etta taking first watch. She pointed at Santosh's groin, and then she pointed at the vial of acid. The next day they reached the dungeon and tied the chocobos. Seven helped Kumek to get down. After you, friend Santosh, Etta invited. He led the way and summoned a ball of light. There was room to spread out a bit. Etta held 2 grenades, one of which was the acid for Santosh. They found lots of scorpions, centipedes, and rats. They all seemed to be thriving by eating the others. But the small vermin left them alone. They were able to find a bag of gold coins, which Seven put in his rucksack. They found a few of the familiar giant antlions busily eating a dog. There were four of them, and they were busy squabbling, so the partners dispatched them with ease. Eva, Edda was able to harvest four venom sacs. In another room, they were attacked by five walking skeletons. Chips called upon Grome, who smashed them to bits with a stone hammer. This is too easy, he said. Indeed, said Edda. They found a chest in that room which contained some gems, which Sasha claimed. We're nearing where my partners fell, Santosh said. And immediately after that, great giant centipedes burst out of the dirt floor. Oh, gods, it's so obvious, yelled Edda. She threw a frost bomb at one and stowed the Santosh acid for later. The grenade hit the centipede right on its head, and it fell back in pain. Sasha slashed off the mandible of and the antenna of another. Santosh hurled a ball of what looked like ink at another of them. The black goo clung to the centipede and made it writhe in pain. Seven stepped forward and pointed the spear of Soames at the giant centipedes and called forth lightning from it that struck them. Kumek watched Santosh warily. Chips summoned Shiver. Shiver appeared and blew frigid air and great blocks of ice at the centipedes, keeping them at bay and killing the one that Edda had hit earlier. Okay, it's not too easy anymore, Edda called out as she threw another frost bomb, which killed her target. Sasha stabbed the centipede that had been inked right in its underbelly with both of her swords, and then tearing them out, spraying its blood. She danced away, untouched by the vile fluid. Seven stabbed another through its mouth and kept out of reach of its pincers. Shiver summoned a massive spear of ice and threw it at another, finishing it off. There were only two left. Santosh threw another ink ball, but missed. Kumek held her sword and shield high and screamed a war cry. She swung Leanie's broken sword, and an arc of white light flew forward, which killed Edda's foe. Thank you, Leanie, she called out. Sasha jumped onto the final centipede's back and buried her swords into its head, riding its death throes, whooping. I am Satrasha! Witness me! Hail, called Seven. I see you very well. Edda was able to harvest certain organs from these as well. They used sand to clean their blades. It was slow going, moving through the churned up, loosened earth, and they took a break. That ink spell there was a bit impressive, said Kumek. Not ink, hot tar. What beast uses that spell? Tar monsters. Believe me, I was surprised to learn the spell myself. Edda had resumed taking hold of the Santosh acid and would not allow anyone to touch her. They continued on, searching rooms, finding most of them empty. And then they found a room with some books, which Chips claimed. As he put the last book into his rucksack, a wailing sound filled the room, and several ghostly figures appeared and attacked. Edda drew her rapier, gleaming silver. She stabbed one and it imploded. Thank you, Mother. Sasha swung her swords and dodged. Santosh hurled a beam of light at another, which destroyed it. Sasha took a look at Chips. He shrugged and stabbed one with his harpoon, which made it recoil. Kumak slashed again, and the blade of light struck true, destroying Chips's foe. Edda called out, "Gee, can you give him the rest in peace treatment?" "Only on dragon souls," he replied. He stabbed another, which seemed to hurt it. Sasha began to slash all about her, dancing around the remaining enemies, and they shrieked in anger and pain. "Sasha, don't let them touch you!" Too late, one grasped her, which drained her very life. She screamed and sliced it in two with soulless blue. The sword glowed with blue light, and she felt her stolen vitality return. Only 3 remained. The partners made short work of them. "You've earned your keep, Santosh," Edda remarked. "I still see the acid." "Good." They found human skeletons clad in armor, 3 of them. "Bubba Zanetti, the Knight Rider, and Johnny the Boy," said Santosh. "Rest in peace, boys." "How were they already picked clean?" "The centipedes, I wager," Chip said. "Claim what you want of them and I'll bury them." Santosh nodded. He claimed the weapons and armor and a few bags. "I can't carry their armor, but please don't bury it." 7 took it all and carried it. "I'll give it to you when we get back," he promised. "You can carry it?" "Yes." "I'm glad you're on my side." Santosh nodded to Chips, and Chips called upon Grome. Grome buried the dead men. On to the prize? "I need rest," said Chips. They set down their bags and rucksacks and rested. Santosh ate an apple. After a few hours, Chips said, "Okay, I'm ready." They continued and found a large, ornate stone chair. The wall behind it shimmered, and a topaz dragon stood before them. "Thank you, Santosh. You may go, milady." He bowed, and Edda screamed, "I bloody knew it!" She threw the acid, and it hit him right in the groin. The acid quickly eating through his clothes as if they were paper and burning into his flesh. He fell to the ground, screaming and flailing helplessly. The dragon laughed. 7 put Santosh out of his misery. Edda said, "He bloody well knew it would happen. I warned him." And then 7 stepped forward. "Milady, why are we here?" The dragon changed shape into a Mataka woman, and she sat upon the throne. "You and I have business, Grimhorda. War is coming. You will fight for me. Why go through all this just to recruit me? You could have asked for any number of knights." "I wanted you, and I wanted to test you. If you wanted me, you knew my capabilities." "Fine, I hoped a few of your friends would die." "I'll not serve you. Ask at the Great Hall for another." "Yes, you serve me." "No, I don't." "But is that an Uncle fucking Dragon Whisker?" "Yes, milady." "Serve me or I kill your friends." "Don't. Please don't." "Gee, we can take her." "No, we can't." "Yes, we can." Edda hurled 2 flasks of acid, which both hit the dragon in her chest. "Gods, no! Edda!" But 7 lunged into the dragon's chest, pinning her to the throne. Chips called upon Breezy. "Protect us from her breath, Breezy." Sasha and Kumak charged forward, slashing at her neck. Somehow, they won. The transformed Mitaka collapsed, and then her body reverted to dragon form. We're in trouble now. No, we're not. She's dead. Let's hope you're right. They looked around, and they found more gems and coins. Ditch that armor. It's probably cursed, Edda said. Seven dropped the 3 suits of armor. He gathered coins and then stole Santosh's bags and filled them with gems. Edda was busy harvesting teeth, talons, and a few scales from the dead dragon. She stopped, panting. Nobody uses me against my husband, she declared. At least lots of loot? Kumak asked. Ah, right. And you never doubt me again when I get crazy about not trusting a guy. Chips embraced her, and Sasha said, That's why he looked at me like that. She probably desert rosed him. Maybe. Let's get out of here. They didn't take everything. They couldn't carry it all. Breezy had been hanging around and said, Magus, a kiss, please. Chip shrugged. He gazed into her sapphire eyes and closed his own before giving her a kiss. She gripped him. Thank you, Magus. And then she vanished. Why don't the other Ions talk in front of us? Sasha asked. Breezy's one of a kind. No doubt. They hurried back using Santosh's Vocho for pack storage. They made even better time heading back. Relax, G. She obviously didn't tell anyone else about her plan. Anybody could have killed her. Yo, you're right, E. Yeah, anybody could have killed that dragon. Well, I know I'm right. Back at the house, they studied the scroll again for Solus Red. According to the scroll, one sword resonates with the other and will make it easier to find. I think it says here we need to go to Sentry Rock, Kumak declared. Where's that? Asked Chips. It's right on the edge of the Great Green Desert. We'll need passage on a boat, Kumak explained. Isn't that Church of the Conquering Sun central? Asked Edda. Yes. God save us from priests with sharp knives, Edda intoned. So be it, affirmed Sasha. The smith at the Great Hall was able to reforge Leanie's sword with a design stamped into the blade. 3 eggs. Edda busied herself replenishing their stock of healing water, alchemical weapons, various medicines and antidotes, and some new jade grenades for special enemies. She expanded her cookbook and also stocked up on some new spices. Her rapier, which she had silvered earlier, she had enchanted by the battle mages at the Great Hall. It would now vibrate at high frequency, helping it to penetrate right through most things. Leanie's sword, which it turned out was very, very enchanted, proving that Leanie was not above lying to her descendants. And Kumak asked for her shield to be enchanted to be magically deflective, deflecting even dragon breath. Chips bought some quilted armor at a discount from the order, and a medallion that would help replenish his mana. Sasha, Edda, and Kumak had their fascinators enchanted to be theft-proof, and to provide some magical armor. During this time of spending all their new vast wealth, Chips also began courting a sprite. Almost ironically, it was a rose in their backyard that attracted the sprite. The sprite loved candy, and the sprite's name was Billiam, and Chips was surprised to find that it was male, But the important thing, as always, was the power. Billiam willfully bonded with Chips. Chips also took time to go on walkabout, meditating and paying mind to the natural world and his own place in destiny, seeking peace inside. Chips battled his fears of inadequacy, his self loathing, and his conflicting feelings about his own sexuality. In all his adult life, he had not had sex with a single human, and something inside told him that that was strange and somehow wrong. And during that time of solitude, he summoned Breezy, who looked even more terrifying now with long, scaly ears. Magus, do I look beautiful? Breezy, please, don't do these changes for me. If you want to change your appearance, do it because you want it, not me. You don't like how I look? I think you look incredible. I like seeing my enemies gaze upon your unique visage and witness your power. I want you to make love to me, Magus. Love me like your wives. At this he paused. He closed his eyes and focused upon the bond between them, and he felt his heart begin to flutter. I feel your heart, Breezy. I admire you, and I'm thankful for your help. I love you. He opened his eyes and gazed upon the horrible beauty. Scales, horns, fangs, and all. Yes, Magus, I feel the truth in you. Come and love me. He embraced the monstrous Ion. She still smelled like saffron, and he loved her. Normal is dull. As he rested and made peace with himself, he felt a stirring in the ground. A coal-black, shadowy figure pulled itself out of the ground. He pulled himself up and watched carefully. Greetings, Magus. Greetings. The figure shifted its position, and Chips saw that it was feminine. Magus, I am lonely. My name is Marigold. Welcome, Marigold. My name is Chips. Chips, I didn't mean to spy, but I saw you bonding with that Ion earlier. Yes, my Zephyr. She's one of a kind. I've truly never seen a Zephyr like her. By chance, do you have any Toxicati in your service? I don't. What do Toxicati do? I've not read about them yet. Ah, we are very powerful, Magus. As your Toxicatus, I will kill your enemies with virulent poison. I will corrode their fortresses, and I will fill your carnal delights. Marigold, why are you lonely? Your power sounds impressive. My appearance is monstrous, and my power is seen as evil. I see now why you were drawn to me. I will bond with you, but I only ask that you serve me. I love my Zephyr because she asks it of me. I do not make my Ions love slaves. Oh, Magus, I want carnal pleasures. I'm lonely and miserable. Show me your face, your complete true form. Can't change my shape anyway, only this cloak of shadows. Marigold shed the shadows and stood revealed in the sunlight. Her skin was pallid green, her hair was the purple of a bruise. Her face was angular, almost mantis-like. She had a crown of horns around her head and large pointed teeth. She was thin to the point of being gaunt, her breasts small and sagging, her nipples dark green and inverted. Her bones protruded. Marigold, you are unbelievably strange. I accept you all the same. Join with me. Marigold crawled forward. I will serve you faithfully, Magus. Kiss me, please. He had to close his eyes, but he kissed her tenderly, feeling her heart burn. Give me your mana. I'm yours. He drew upon the mana and held out his hand. Marigold looked disappointed, but she kissed his hand, sucking up the magical energy fueled by his own life force. Magus, do I not please you? Marigold, I am very pleased. She sat down and opened her legs. Then take me. Make me yours truly. Let me show you the pleasures I can give you, and only you. He disrobed. Do as you will. Her face split into a smile. Her mouth was inhumanly hinged, rather like a snake, and she had an impossibly long tongue to match. She kissed him and began licking his body, leaving it slightly numb and tingling as she trailed her tongue. She knelt and began licking his manhood, wrapping her tongue around his girth and sliding it up and down, swirling around. The effect of her saliva was immediate, and he stiffened, almost painfully so, but for the tingling. She pulled away, drawing her tongue back into her mouth. I told you, I'm good for pleasure. And she pulled herself up and climbed atop him, gripping with her prehensile feet. She kissed him deeply and, using her foot, guided him into her womanhood. She wrapped her legs around him and began to love him. She seemed to weigh almost nothing. She was slippery, almost oily. He climaxed much quicker than he thought he would. Oh, yes, Magus, I needed this. I'm yours forever. Thank you, Marigold. Oh, Magus, the pleasure was mine. And then she climbed back into the earth, and he was relieved to find himself alone. He could not wipe her residue off of his penis with cloth. He eventually gave up and dressed, still feeling the tingles in his skin. Chips the monster lover, he thought to himself. He wanted to go home and couldn't get back fast enough, so Breezy happily carried him home. Seven was communing with the dragon spirit. Killing that dragon made him feel guilt, but also filled him with pride, and he felt powerful. And as he meditated, he was confident that he could use the breath weapon more, and jump even further, and glide further. His scales felt stronger, and they changed color from green to yellow topaz. He was becoming one with the topaz dragon spirit, the ancestral spirit of his order. And as everyone was so busy, Sasha felt isolated. Her husbands secluded themselves, Etta was busy working, Kumak was reading and training, and Sasha could train, but she could not throw herself into it the way Kumak had done. So Sasha asked a tutor to teach her how to read. And she began to study history, but she felt listless. She needed more companionship, but everyone else was busy. She had nothing to busy herself with. And when Chips returned, she wept as she held him. Oh, husband, I've been so alone. Are you going to stay a while? Yes, Sasha. I'm home for the duration. Oh, good. I need to be with you. I learned how to read. You were gone for so long on that walkabout. I've been gone that long? I'm so sorry. He kissed her. She took him to the bedroom, and then she read to him from the book that she had. This is poetry. Love is not a boomerang tossed away. It will not return when given, but must be given to you. The heart is a lonely hunter. He nodded approvingly. I need a bath. How about you? Yes, let's go get a private bath, and I'll do wonderful things. Massages and all. And he gave her a kiss. Only if you let me do wonderful things to you, too. But, Chips, it makes me happy. I feel like a proper wife when I do services, especially since I'm a horrible cook. Of course, I love you, and I like getting to rub fragrant oils onto your beautiful scales too, you know. Oh, Chips, I love you too. Are you okay? No. My walkabout helped me get centered, but it also made me confront uncomfortable things about myself. Oh, me too. I had all this time with only myself, and I don't really like myself. So they went to the baths to have the comfort of the normal, with just a bit of added fragrance. The attendants were shocked to learn that Sasha was his wife, not his servant. Chips pretended not to care, and Sasha was proud. That's right, she thought. I'm married to a mage. We're rich enough to buy all of you, too. They bathed and washed each other, and after Chips rubbed the oil into her skin, she returned the favor to him. They returned home arm in arm, planning to eat dinner at home, and bought some extra just in case anyone else found their way home. They ate a quiet dinner by candlelight, talking about pleasantries. Right before the end of the meal, Kumak slowly entered the sitting room. Oh, lovely meal. Please help me with my armor, Krupo. So tired. Chips helped her to unbuckle and remove her mail. She gave him a weary kiss and sat down to join them and eat. They finished the meal and inquired about Kumak's training and conditioning. Dragoons fought in a much more acrobatic fashion than the Quill Knights, and Kumak's Mugu wings were especially exhausted. Her instructors helped her with gliding, and her strength improved so much that her gliding was almost as good as flying. In fact, they tried to help her to fly, but she didn't think she ever would. She fell asleep there at the table, and Sasha carried her to the bedroom. She held Chips's hands as they watched her. You've had a perfect day. Shall we make it a perfect night? Yes, please.